goes back to a guy that you've covered for a very long time, Bill Clinton, saying it's better to be strong and wrong
than weak and right.
Yeah.
That, and what was the big theme of Bill Clinton's election in '92? Why did he win? He realized that that was a change election. And that's the one word that we're missing in this conversation. Everything you guys said I agree with, but it's under the umbrella of the word change. People in this country, except for the partisans on the far right and the far left, but the majority of the people in this country desperately want change. You're disconnected from the political system. They see everything that's going wrong in their minds in this country right now. They desperately want change, but they don't want crazy change. So Hillary Clinton, to that kind of voter, is too much of the status quo, especially with the trust stuff. It reminds them too much of the kind of things they hate about politics. The problem for Donald Trump is they don't want crazy change. So what a lot of voters are trying to do is decide, is this guy temperamentally fit for the presidency? Is he good enough that I can cast my change vote for him? I really think that's what this is coming down to, and it's why Hillary Clinton's biggest attribute isn't his speech, unfortunately isn't even a bunch of good policies, because people don't believe that she'll get them done. It isn't talking about trust. It's disqualifying Donald Trump. She's got to convince the American public, and frankly, I don't think this should be a hard thing to do, that he doesn't have the temperament to be the President of the United States. That's the only thing this election is about, is change versus status quo, and how do you disqualify the change candidate.
To Ron's point, I think what you're going to start to see Trump inject into his brand, specifically if they pick Pence, is a little of this Morning in America, family values stuff, back to who we are. So on the one hand, you're an outsider and you're promoting change, but you're giving me the comfort of yesterday, of old school values, of family, of tradition, of, you know, Morning in America again, a little bit of Reagan in there. So you slice of Reagan in there and a slice of Clinton in there, coming from different directions, and that's how you make people feel right.
Well, with Trump, it's change plus something else. For at least 15 years, but certainly for the last 2 years since this campaign has begun, people who Ron pointed to, alluded to, are seeking change. They also want something different. And Trump is standing on a stage with people on both sides of the aisle. People running in the Democratic primary, people running in the Republican primary. He's the only one who's different. And people define different differently. Different means strong. Different means not as politically correct as all the other candidates.
Also, we have to say, and many would say begrudgingly, he's also extraordinarily talented in the realm that he's in. I mean, everybody makes so much fun of him. I remember asking Mark McKinnon, Nicole, the first time he saw Donald Trump go up to New Hampshire at the No Labels event. And, you know, Mark's been in the business for a very long time, and this was at the beginning of the campaign. And I said, so what did you think of Trump? He said, I've never seen anybody come in and dominate a room the way he did the second he walked in. I said, even Reagan? He goes, even Reagan, not a close call. I think you said he was one of the greatest marketers of our time, at least political marketers of our time. You say he is the greatest marketer of our time.
I mean, bar none. By the way, if you were sitting around this table eavesdropping, everything we have said today would lead you to say, unequivocally, Trump is going to win. Everything we talked about, the person who's emotional, the person who's the strong one, the person who's... So I want to ask Steve Banner, so why does Vegas still have him as basically only a 25% chance? 25%? Every word we've said, you've done this your entire life, adds up to Trump.
Well, they still, by the way, have Brexit down by 4 points.
All right, well, but this is not a poll. This is Vegas.
No, that's what I'm saying. The Vegas.
I'm not talking about Wall Street. I'm talking about Vegas. Vegas doesn't get it wrong.
No, Vegas gets it wrong.
Vegas has gotten it wrong. That's a longer conversation. Look, I think Trump is everything you've said. I think he is a great marketer. But I think at the end of the day, when people go into the voting booth, they're at some point going to say to themselves, well, who's actually qualified to be president? Who's actually been in public service? Who actually understands these issues? Who actually has coherent policy positions? And I think what you were talking about before about how Trump harks back to the past, or however you put it, I think there's a dog whistle in there, right? Which is, we go back to an old America that was kind of really white, and everybody kind of saw people who looked like them around them. But that's not what America is now. And not only the people who aren't white or who don't look like those people, but some of the people who are white and look like those people say that's not what America is now. We think it's more like this. And so he is more of a divider than a uniter, I think, in the end. And I think that's going to hurt him.